Hi, my name is Eric Lofholm, and welcome to How to Master the Art of Time Management. The information on this audio program has changed my life. Over the last 10 years, my production has increased from 8 hours per day to over 200 hours per day. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, but Eric, there are only 24 hours in a day. How could you possibly be getting 200 hours a day of production? Well, I will explain to you exactly in detail how I do it, as well as my other best ideas on time management in this program. I will give you a hint, though. The answer is to not go out and buy another day planner. Yes, I do have a day planner. And yes, I do believe that you too should have a day planner. But a planner will not transform your life. If that were the case, the millions of people who own planners would have already transformed their lives. My life, with the help of the principles on this program, has transformed me over the last 10 years. Time management has made a difference in my health, my relationships, my finances, and in my business. And it can do the same for you. Yep, you. Even if you think you're terrible at time management. And that's one of the things that we're going to change in this program. We're going to change some of the ways that you think about time management. But even if you think there's no hope for you, there is hope for you. Regardless of your circumstances, regardless of how many hours you have to work, regardless of your commitments, regardless of how many kids you have, yes, you too can become a master of time management. I'm a master of time management. This program will teach you how to become a time management master. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Eric, how can I possibly become a time management master? You don't know my situation. You don't know what I'm faced with. Well, if you thought that thought, that is one of your biggest time management problems. Let me explain. Change begins in language. Change begins in language. I meet thousands of people each and every year, and many of them say this to me, Eric, I can never be a time management master. I'm not even good at time management. And my response is this: as long as you say to me, to others, and to yourself that you're not good at time management, you will never be good at time management, let alone become a time management master. Here is your first tip. Begin to affirm that you are a time management master. Say it to yourself right now. Tell yourself you are a time management master. You see, we all have a little voice in the back of our head. I call this voice your mini-me. In the Austin Powers movies, there is a mini-me, and your voice is talking to you at up to 500 words a minute. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Eric, I don't have a mini-me. You see, the voice that just told you that you don't have a mini-me, that's the voice that I'm talking about. When you told yourself that you are a time management master, what did your mini-me or that voice in the back of your head tell you? Let me guess. Your mini-me said something like, yeah, right. Not in this lifetime. Or something similar. Am I correct? The law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over and over again, you will eventually believe. When you told yourself that you are a time management master, that was probably the first time that you ever introduced that thought to your subconscious. That is why your subconscious rejected the thought. Continue to affirm that you are a time management master, and you will eventually believe it. Remember, the law of belief is whatever you tell yourself over and over and over again, you will eventually believe. I want to encourage you to affirm it in 3 ways. Say it like this: I am a time management master. Eric is a time management master. He is a time management master. Now, obviously, I don't want you to use my name. I want you to substitute your name. And if it's a she, then you say she is a time management master. So, in other words, I am a time management master. Jennifer is a time management master. assuming that was your name, she is a time management master. I was taught this affirmation strategy by Dr. Donald Moyne. Dr. Moyne is one of my good friends, one of my business partners, and been my mentor and coach now for 10 years. And Dr. Moyne has a PhD in psychology. He shared with me that by saying the affirmation in 3 different ways, it impacts your subconscious differently. Here's your next tip. What has made all the difference for me in improving my time management is I learned how to think. I'm going to teach you how to think about time management differently than you've ever thought before. For example, I'm going to teach you how to create infinite time. That's an interesting topic, wouldn't you agree? You might be thinking, yeah, but Eric, there are only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year. Eric, time is fixed and time is limited. Is infinite time even possible? The answer is yes. And not only is it possible, but you are going to learn how to achieve infinite time. Yes, you. On this program, I will teach you also how to have a 26-hour day. Now, immediately you're saying, well, Eric, there's only 24 hours in the day. Yeah, for the way that you measure time, but I've learned that there are other ways of measuring time. Again, the way that you accomplish these outcomes is by thinking differently. This is a program about thinking in a new and unique way as it relates to time. You might be familiar with an exercise called the 9-dot exercise. And if you're not familiar with it, if you picture a square, and inside the square is 3 rows of 3 dots evenly spaced apart. And the purpose of the exercise is to connect all 9 dots with 4 straight lines while keeping your pen on the page. And the punchline of how you actually solve this puzzle is you have to go outside the box. To transform your time management and to become a time management master, it's going to require that you think in a new and different way in relation to time than you've ever thought before. And I believe that I'm the right person to teach you this information. I have 3 requests for you. And these are 3 requests that I have in all of my programs. Request number 1 is that you purchase a hardbound journal and permanently capture the ideas that I share with you in this program. There's something powerful that happens when you take information that you hear, and not just hear it, but then you take that information a step further and you take notes on that information. There's a journaling strategy called the Wrap Journal Method. And I'd like you to jot this down in your notes, and as soon as you get your journal, transfer these notes to your journal. The Wrap Journal Method, it stands for Record, Analyze, and Plan. WRAP is an acronym standing for Record, Analyze, and Plan. So you're going to record these ideas in your journal, and then at a later date, you're going to go back and study and analyze these notes and think. And then from that thinking, you're going to plan, and you're going to begin to implement these ideas. My second request is that you play at a level 10. And here's what I mean by playing at a level 10. I want you to do all of the exercises. I want you to take notes in your journal. And I want you to listen to this program from start to finish 7 times. Now, as I said, listen to it 7 times. You might be thinking to yourself, 7 times, Eric, that's a lot. I mean, this is a 4-hour program. You want me to listen to these tapes for 28 hours? Yes, I want you to hear the program 7 times. And here's why. Have you ever had this experience? You're driving in your car, your favorite song comes on the radio, or it's on the CD that you're playing or your tape, and all of a sudden you begin to sing along with that song. I have a question for you if you've had that experience. I know I have. At what point in your life did you set a goal that you were going to learn the words to that song? Oh, you didn't. Oh, okay. Well, at what point in your life did you drive down to Tower Records and purchase the lyrics and practice them over and over and over and over again to the point where you could recite the song? Oh, you never did go to Tower Records, did you? Okay, well then how did you learn the words to that song? Okay, you listened to the song over and over and over and over and over. You listened to it about 7 times. And then at 7 times, you then began to sing along with the song. And It may be enjoyable to sing along with the song, but it's completely useless to have all that information in your subconscious. It's not going to create the life of your dreams. But what if you took the information in this time management audio program, the best of the best ideas? You learn how to create infinite time. You learn how to create 26 hours a day. You learn how to leverage and delegate and time block and all of the powerful tools that I'm going to teach you in this program. And we put those ideas into your subconscious to where you could recall them at any moment when you needed that information. Or if you're a manager, you could teach this information. You had it in your subconscious and you knew it so well that you could teach this information to the people that are on your staff. And hopefully by now you're getting my passion that I have in this subject matter, because so many people come to me and they say, Eric, I am stressed. I'm burned out. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to manage my life. I have too many responsibilities. The information age was supposed to free up time for me. Email was supposed to create more time. Technology was supposed to create more time. But if you're like most people, technology and information didn't do any of those things, did it? It simply created more stress and more work for you to do and more production requirements on you in the same amount of time that you have each day. But this program is about changing all that. Just hearing those words, isn't that refreshing to know that there are other alternatives? But it requires you to think differently. And I believe that this information is some of the most important information that you will ever hear from anyone in your entire life. And if I'm that certain about it, if I'm that passionate about it, don't you think you owe it to yourself to at least take the advice of what I'm suggesting? Invest 28 measly hours over the next 6 months and learn this information and allow the information to transform your life as it's transformed mine. By listening to this program 7 times, you will insert these ideas into your subconscious. Think about the value for a moment of putting the most powerful ideas that I know on time management into your subconscious. Once you have these ideas, you will be able to benefit from these ideas every single day for the rest of your life. 365 days a year. Over 10 years, that's 3,650 years. Over 30 years, that's 10,000 days of benefit. Yes, again, it will take you 28 hours to listen to this program 7 times. But don't you think the benefit's worth it? Isn't your life worth 28 hours of time? It will make you more effective every day for the rest of your life. If you would agree that 28 hours as an investment of time to listen to this audio program 7 times to improve your productivity is a good investment of your time, I want you to make that commitment right now. And I'd like you to do it in writing. Say, I commit to listening to this program 7 times through. I want you to write that down, and now I want you to say it out loud. Say this. Okay, Eric, I commit to listening to this program 7 times through. Say it right now. Okay, I didn't hear you. I want you to say it now. This is the last time we're going to say it right after me. I commit to listening to this program 7 times through. Do that for me right now. Okay, great job. My third request of you is for you to take action. This audio program is not designed to entertain you. I leave the entertainment up to Adam Sandler, Kobe Bryant, Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, Steven Spielberg, and Billy Joel. That's their job. My job is to deliver information that can transform your time management. Are you excited? Do I have your attention now? Aren't you glad that you invested the money and you took action, you opened up the wrapper and you put in that first tape and you got started? Aren't you glad that you did that? You see, the only way that the information contained in this program can help you is if you're willing to take action. So here's my question. Will you agree to take notes in a journal, play at a level 10, and listen to the program 7 times and take action? If you will, say, Eric, yes, I will, out loud. Do that for me now. Okay, I didn't hear you that time. I'm not kidding around. Say it right now. Say, Eric, yes, I will, out loud. Okay, do that for me now. Okay, that's better. We're on the same page now. Now that you've agreed to listen to the program 7 times through, I want you to remember that commitment when you're watching television until you have listened to the program 7 times. Each time that you're wasting time watching TV, say to yourself, my time would be better spent listening to Eric's time management program. I want you to continue to do this until you have listened to the program start to finish 7 times through. When I start out working with a new coaching client, I will ask them, when we do our coaching calls, do you want to just talk or do you really want to make a change in your life? Some of my clients, honestly, they just want to talk. It's funny. They want to have a coach just, I think, to tell their business colleagues and their friends that they have a success coach. They're not committed to change. They just want to talk. Some of my clients, though, do want to change. Most of them, actually. Are you listening to this program just to gain more knowledge, or do you really want to change? If you really want to change, then pick the ideas that make sense to you and take action. If you really want to change, here's my question to you. Why? Why do you want to transform your time management? What will it mean to you when you're able to create infinite time? What will it mean to you when you're able to generate an extra hour of production every day for the rest of your life? What will it mean to you to have 30 quality minutes with your son or daughter every day? What will it mean to you to finally have the time to go to the gym? What will it mean to you to have the time that you want to create that relationship with your Creator? You see, I've taught time management seminars for years. And I had a gentleman, he came up to me at one of my sales classes. And I recognized him. And I have a lot of people come through my programs, and I couldn't figure out where I recognized him from. And I said, you've been to my programs before, haven't you? And he said, yeah, I was at your time management class a few months ago. I was like, oh, that's great. How's it been going since the class? And he says, well, it's been going okay. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, honestly, Eric, I have not yet implemented one of the ideas that you shared. And I was like, really? You didn't implement one of them? Well, did you feel that the ideas weren't valuable or weren't applicable to your life? He said, oh, no, the ideas were fine. I just haven't put them into action. And I immediately knew that he didn't have a reason to put them into action. When I started my company, I used to be a sales rep for Anthony Robbins. I was one of Tony's trainers, and I traveled around the country promoting his programs. And being an employee of Anthony Robbins' organization, time management was important, but it was not nearly as critical as time management became as I then started adding my own employees. And the number of commitments that I was making was dramatically increasing. And then my wife and I, we had our first son. And my life continued to get more and more complicated. I had to improve my time management. It wasn't a choice for me. I couldn't afford the luxury of going to a seminar and not implementing the information. I had to improve my time management in order for me to achieve my goals and my dreams. I'd like to start off with a challenge to you. Every time you listen to this program, I challenge you, to implement one of these ideas that you hear on this program in the next 24 hours. So you hear an idea, I challenge you to implement it immediately within 24 hours. Ideas without action produce nothing. Action is the number one key ingredient to all success and all achievement. And with action, anything is possible, even you becoming a time management master. The ideas in this program, they work. The ideas have come from study, practice, and training. I have personally planned over 2,000 days. I get over 200 hours of result every single day. I've taught time management seminars for years, and I've studied the time management masters. I've extensively studied Stephen Covey, author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Anthony Robbins, Alec McKenzie, author of The Time Trap, and Brian Tracy, who's been studying time management now for the last 20 plus years, and he's the author of Eat That Frog. It's kind of a funny title, and it contains 21 of Brian's best ideas on time management. There are other time management programs out there. Study all of them. I can confidently say if you take the ideas in this program and apply them, your life will change for the better now, in the future, and for the rest of your life. And I'd like to start off by sharing some time management truths with you. Truth number 1, we all have the same amount of time. Truth number 2, time management is a learned skill. You see, it's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, roll out of bed, and voila, you're better at time management. The way that you get better at anything is study and practice. And that's why I really want to acknowledge you for purchasing this program and taking the time out to listen to it. You know, a lot of people purchase an audio program and never listen to it. I mean, that always just boggles my mind. Why would somebody purchase an audio program and never even take the cellophane wrapper off of the tape or CD? But you're listening to this program and you are a person of action. And because time management is a learned skill, you will become a time management master. Time management truth 3, time can have a future value. Just like money. You see, if you put money in the bank, even at a measly 4% interest, money can have a future value. If you put $100,000 in a CD at 4%, at the end of 1 year, you have your $100,000 plus $4,000 in interest. So your $100,000 is worth $104,000 in the future. Money has a future value. Time can have a future value. Point 4, some activities produce better results than others. Some activities produce better results than others. Time management truth 5, what you expect tends to happen. What you expect tends to happen. In time management truth number 6, what doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. What doesn't get scheduled doesn't get done. I want you to consider one of the most important questions of this entire program. What kind of time do you need? Do you need more time for exercising? Do you need more time for your children? Do you need more time for work? Do you need more time with your spouse? Do you need more time on your own? Do you need more time to play your musical instrument? What kind of time do you need? In your journal, I'd like you to make a list of the kind of time that you feel that you need. Once you've identified that list, now if you haven't started writing the list, your only excuse is if you're driving right now, because I don't want you to get in an accident. So if you're driving, keep driving. But if you're not driving, get your pen, get your pencil out, piece of paper, your journal, and start writing down your list. Play at a level 10. Once you've identified what kind of time you need, now identify how much time do I need in that area. Like for exercising, how much time do you need to exercise? How much spiritual time do you need? And what I mean by that is more time than what you're currently spending. Let's say you spend an hour a week exercising, but it's not enough. And you feel that you need to spend an extra hour and a half. So you're already doing the hour, so now it's an extra hour and a half. So put down how much extra time do you need in each area. And one of the techniques is to find time in your current schedule and shift the time, reallocate that time from where it's currently being used into this area of your life that will create more satisfaction for you. Here are the numbers for time. A few of them anyway. There are 2,000 working hours per year. That's assuming a 50-week year and working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. There is 168 working hours per month. There are 1,440 minutes in each day. There are 86,640 seconds per day. If you improve your productivity by 1 extra hour per day, and you work 5 days a week, 50 weeks out of the year, that's an extra 250 hours of production. That's an extra 2,500 hours of production over 10 years. The way that this audio program is set up is I will begin by teaching you a time management foundation strategy called the baseline strategy. Then I will teach you my best time management ideas. The baseline strategy. You have a baseline in terms of time management. Your baseline is every idea about time management that you know, every strategy, every technique. It's your day planner. It's the software that you use. It's your planning systems. It's your leveraging. It's your delegation. It's everything that you currently do. And the baseline strategy is whatever it is that you're currently doing in time management, keep doing it. And then add one new idea, one new strategy. Thus, you're able to produce a greater result. Now, when it comes to your baseline, there's 3 components of your baseline. You can add an idea, you can subtract an idea, or you can improve an idea. So now, having said that, your subconscious mind will answer whatever question you ask yourself. So ask yourself right now, what's one idea that I could add, subtract, or improve from my baseline in the area of time management that by me doing that, I'll see an immediate increase in my results? The next thing I'd like you to do, and this is one of the most important exercises of the entire program, I'd like you to make a list of all of your time commitments. So if you work 50 hours a week, put that down. If you have appointments with your company, if you have appointments with your church, if you have appointments with your association, if you have to take your children to school, if you have a guitar practice, if you're a student and you have homework or you have to go to class, I would like you to make a list of every time commitment that you have. So go ahead and do that for me now. Here's one of the reasons why that list is so important. Some of you have commitments that you committed to these things, but you never even really thought about it. One of the things about us as human beings is we're people pleasers. And so we'll just tell people, we'll agree, just to agree. And so they ask us, could you join me on this committee and help me out? Oh, sure, Eric, no problem. Could you do this for me? Oh, sure, no problem. Without any consideration given to the time commitment. One time in one of my public seminars, a woman said, Eric, I challenge you. I said, great, what do you challenge me on? I challenge you to plan my day. I don't think it's possible to plan my day effectively. I said, great, well, tell me about your day. Well, I work here, and I'm in this board, and I have this going on with my kids, and I have this going on with my husband, and I've got to do this over here and that over here, and I can't even remember all the things. There was so many of them. He said, okay, that's my day. Now how do you plan it? And I shared with her, I said, you don't have a planning problem. You have too many things on your plate. You're constantly juggling all of these commitments. I said, you'll be stressed and overwhelmed your entire life until you eliminate some of those commitments. Do you feel stressed and overwhelmed? She said, yeah, I do. As you're listening to me right now, I want you to ask yourself, do you feel stressed and overwhelmed in your life? And if you do, you may simply have too many things on your plate. And that's why you need to practice addition by subtraction of your baseline. Now that you have a list of all of your time commitments, look at those commitments and ask yourself, am I willing to commit to this time block to do each of these activities? Maybe there's some activities on there that are taking up an hour a week for you. And you could eliminate those activities and free up 4 extra hours a month from that one single strategy. I had a woman at one of my public seminars when she identified where she was investing her time. And she realized that she was spending a half an hour a day going to Starbucks. Half an hour a day, 5 days a week, 2.5 hours a week, 10 hours a month, 120 hours a year going to Starbucks. And at her company, they had coffee there. She didn't even need to go to Starbucks. And so she eliminated going to Starbucks. And it freed up 120 hours a year for her. Now, you might be saying to yourself, but Eric, I don't want to give up Starbucks. I love Starbucks. Well, I'm not telling you to give up Starbucks. That was a decision that she made. She had self-discovery out of making a list of all of her time commitments. And after analyzing it, she realized that that wasn't a good, effective use of 120 hours of her life. When she couldn't find the time to exercise, but she was finding a time for Starbucks, she made a decision that she was going to eliminate that from her life. One of the most powerful things that you can do is rearrange your list of time commitments. And obviously you can't cut back on all of them. But the truth of the matter is you will have more choices in your life than you may even realize. There's always a choice when it comes to time. We always find the time to do the things that are most important. What I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 in the area of time management. How would you rate yourself in the area of time management? 10 being best, 1 being not so good. Now I'm going to introduce a concept to you that I learned from a gentleman named Noel Lee. And he was the inventor of Monster Cable, that big, thick speaker wire that you find at Good Guys in Circuit City to optimize the performance of your stereo. And what Noel Lee would do is he would identify the critical areas of success in his company, and he would rate himself on a scale of 1 to 10. How would I rate, or how would the company rate? And then once he rated himself, he would ask himself the question, how could I improve my rating by 1 over the next 90 days? So let's say you rated yourself a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 in the area of time management. Ask yourself, what's one thing that I could do to improve my score from a 4 to a 5 over the next 90 days? Okay, now listen to me. I want you to come back in 90 days. I want you to rate yourself again, and then ask yourself the question, what could I do to improve my rating by 1 over the next 90 days? And I want you to consider the possibility of coming back to this question every 90 days for the rest of your life, asking yourself, what could I do to improve my rating by 1?